Every morning, millions of people wake up at the exact same time. Same alarm, same rush, same traffic, same exhausted face in the mirror. And every night, they go to sleep believing one dangerous lie: that hard work alone will make them rich. But what if the game was never designed for that? What if the harder you work, the deeper you sink into a system built to keep you financially average? Because the truth is brutal. Most people will spend 40 years working just to barely escape survival. Not because they're stupid, not because they're lazy, but because they were taught how to earn money without ever learning how wealth actually works. And by the time they realize it, they're too trapped to escape. From childhood, you were trained for employment, not freedom. Think about it. School never asked, "How do you build wealth?" It asked, "How well can you follow instructions?" Sit down, be quiet, finish your assignments, don't question authority, and eventually get a job. That was the dream sold to millions. Not ownership, not leverage, not systems. A paycheck, a safe paycheck, because society doesn't reward independence first. It rewards obedience first. And that's where the trap begins. You know what's crazy? A kid selling candy in school learns more about business than most adults working 9 to 5. Because at least the kid understands one thing: money moves when value moves. Now listen carefully. A salary feels safe. That's why it's dangerous. Because when money arrives every month, your brain stops questioning the system. You relax, you adapt, you survive, and slowly, your lifestyle grows around your paycheck like chains around your ankles. You get a raise, then your expenses rise. New phone, better apartment, more subscriptions, more pressure, and suddenly, you're not working to become free anymore. You're working because stopping would destroy your life. That's not freedom. That's dependency with direct deposit. Imagine a hamster wheel. Now replace the hamster with a stressed office worker holding coffee at 7 a.m. That's modern life for millions. Running constantly, moving nowhere. This part hurts because we've all heard it. Work harder. But rich people don't become rich because they work the hardest. If hard work alone created wealth, construction workers would be millionaires. The system rewards leverage, not exhaustion. And there are only a few forms of leverage that create massive wealth: businesses, media, investments, technology, ownership, not hourly effort. That's why someone can work 12 hours a day and still lose financially to someone whose money works while they sleep. One person sells time, the other owns systems. That changes everything. And this is where people get emotional, because the moment you realize this, you start questioning your entire life. The degree, the career, the promotions, the overtime, all built around a system that was never designed to make you wealthy, only stable. Poor people ask, "How much money can I make?" Rich people ask, "How many times can this money work?" That's the difference. One thinks in income, the other thinks in systems. A wealthy person buys assets. An average person buys upgrades. A wealthy person buys time. An average person sells time. And over years, that gap becomes massive, because wealth is not built in one moment. It's built through invisible decisions repeated for. You know the funniest part? People will spend $1,200 on a phone, then say investing is risky. Fear, not lack of intelligence. Fear of uncertainty. A job gives predictability, predictable money, predictable routine, predictable limits. And humans are addicted to certainty, even if that certainty quietly destroys their potential. Because chasing wealth feels dangerous. but staying average feels socially acceptable. So people stay stuck, not because they can't escape, but because the system trained them to fear leaving. The economy needs workers. That's reality. If everyone suddenly became financially free, entire systems would collapse. Who would do repetitive jobs? Who would stay dependent on monthly salaries? Who would consume endlessly just to cope emotionally? That's why financial education is rarely taught deeply. Because a financially aware population becomes harder to control. And no, this isn't some conspiracy movie. It's incentives. Systems protect themselves. Always. But here's the dangerous part. Once you truly understand this, you can never unsee it. You start noticing everything differently. The advertising, the debt culture, the pressure to look successful. People financing lifestyles they can't afford, just to feel valuable for a moment. That's not wealth. That's performance. This is where things become interesting, because for the first time in history, a teenager with a phone can build leverage. Media, software, bronze, content, communities. One video can reach millions. One product can scale globally. One skill can change your life. The internet broke the old gatekeeping system, and most people still don't realize it. They're using the most powerful tool in human history, only to scroll. Imagine explaining this to someone in 1985. You can build a business from your bedroom. They would think you escaped a mental hospital. You don't need millions immediately. You need momentum, because wealth starts invisibly. The first dollar online feels small. The first 100 subscribers feels small. The first sale feels small. But every empire begins looking insignificant. People only respect success after it becomes undeniable. They don't see the years of being ignored, the loneliness, the uncertainty, the obsession, the rebuilding, the failures nobody claps for. And maybe that's where you are right now, building quietly, learning quietly, trying quietly, while everyone around you thinks nothing is happening. But something is happening. You're starting to think differently. And once your mindset changes, your entire future changes with it. Because rich people are not a different species. They simply learned a different game. If this video made you uncomfortable, good. Comfort rarely creates transformation. And if you're starting to see the system differently, you're already ahead of most people. Welcome to MintLore.